Hello YouTube, so I'm back again with another video. This one is titled Suffer Not a Witch to Live, and basically I'm going to talk about that scripture and the laws that says suffer not a witch to live, and kind of break it down and go over some precepts and stuff. And I'm also eating another Whopper today, but I don't have any drink. I already drank the drink earlier, so hopefully I'm able to chow this down without choking, and then maybe I grab something to drink after or something like that. But basically, if I realize that I can't eat it, then maybe I'll just stop and continue the video without eating anything. But yeah, so the scripture is suffer not a witch to live, and it basically applies to the old laws. I'm not telling people to kill anybody. If you suspect that somebody is actually like doing witchcraft on you, then you have to pray, which is something that even I need to do. And then you also have to basically you have to remove yourself from that situation. That's one of the most important things you have to do. Pray, remove yourself from the situation, and basically going if you think there's a spiritual leader that knows about that stuff, maybe you could consult with that person. Like that is almost similar to consulting with a prophet, stuff like that. I also wanted to do another precept for suffer not a witch to live. So the precept I'm gonna draw is the one that David, I'm not going to actually read the scripture, but I remember David, when he was dying, he told I think he told Solomon that he should ensure that he kills a person that had that cursed him. I don't think it's Ahithophel, one of those other people that basically back to the book, let the precepts speak. Was doing curses on him years ago when he was younger. So he said, make sure he brings that person down to the grave. Even though they're old, make sure that they don't die of natural causes. Make sure, because that person was doing witchcraft, and basically David was following the laws. It says suffer not a witch to live, right? So that means that he has to because that was the Old Testament. So literally what he was doing was actually following the laws, suffering not a witch to live. And I think that scripture, even though David did that, that wasn't what actually caused a lot of the curses to come upon the kings and stuff after. It was some other stuff that David did, like when he stole Uriah's wife and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that, but basically, suffering not a witch to live, that scripture where David had to do that was definitely show you that this person actually did a curse on you, so you have to retaliate. You can't take that. And that's also, the scriptures also talk about stuff like that. There's also another scripture where this person was hired to curse Israel when they were coming out of Egypt, and basically back to the book, let the precepts speak. Basically what happened was he ended up being killed eventually by the Israelites when they had attacked the city, and so he didn't survive after he did that, and he was warned like several times. But these people want to cause like harm to you, these witches and warlocks, Basically, the way they do it is by intimidation, by isolation, by doing the smear campaign, by cutting you off from your support system, gaslighting. These people are really wicked people. But the scripture says that suffer not a witch to live. So even today, even though we can't literally kill people, and obviously, like, you also had the witch hunts and stuff like that. Which even if anybody's gonna be called a witch, it's probably you. They probably, because what happened is the witches, they're gonna be the ones that is telling lies and stuff to everybody, which is a part of their witchcraft. So everybody's gonna believe that you're the witch. So it's probably not a good idea to even try to explain anything to anybody about witchcraft or anything like that. But
back to the book, let the precepts speak. Oh Lord, thunder when the warning gets deep.
The scripture says, "Suffer not a witch to live," and what that means today is that you have to, if you realize that these people are witches, you have to escape that situation firstly, and then you have to pray. You have to go to a wise counsel and let them know about your situation and what you should do, stuff like that. Because these narcissists, these witches, and these warlocks, they're basically trying to control everything. They want to control every single thing about your life, and they also want to target God's chosen people also. So
Back to the book, let the precepts speak.
see if I could just. So that's what these people do. That's why the scripture says, "Suffer not a witch to live," because these people are so crazy. They're so narcissistic. They have demons on them, and they're basically like little babies. Their brain hasn't developed properly, and that's why they're witches. Like, what do you think of what a witch is? A witch is literally somebody that their brain, something happened to their brain, and their brain just never developed right. That's why they're able to do witchcraft. Like, which person in their right mind would do witchcraft? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, we sin, right? Everybody sins, but to actually try to do witchcraft, like, your brain must be totally underdeveloped, like totally underdeveloped to a point where it doesn't even make any sense that you're alive. That's why the scripture said, "Suffer not a witch to live," because that's a very dangerous person. Like, that person could literally cause like so much pain and suffering for millions of people, like with their witchcraft. There is another scripture that just come to my mind. In the Old Testament with Jehu, when Jehu was about to destroy the kings that were worshiping Baal and following Jezebel, they said to him, "Is it peace, Jehu?" And Jehu said, "How can it be peace when the witchcraft of their mother is so strong, or is so many?" So basically, what it means is the same scripture, "Suffer not a witch to live," is the same thing that Jehu basically quoted when he said, "How can it be peace when the witchcraft of their mother is so many?" It's a precept, you know. So Jehu literally said that these narcissists and these witches, they can't have peace. That's what the scripture says. That's why it says, "Suffer not a witch to live." So eventually, when you read the story of Jezebel and Jehu, Jezebel ended up being killed because of her wickedness, of her witchcraft. Because it says, "The dog shall eat Jezebel, and there shall be none to bury her," because she was doing witchcraft. So that's what the scripture said, "Suffer not a witch to live." You know, and it's sad because, you know, I'm eating my Whopper meal right now. It's really sad to talk about these narcissists, these witches, these people. Their brain never is properly developed. That's why they're able to that's why they're able to commit witchcraft and cause people to become homeless, cause people to lose their jobs, cause cause people to become financially unstable, cause people to almost basically not even have food to eat sometimes because they're demons. They're possessed by demons, like big time biblical demons. Like these people are literal satanic people. Like they want to control everything for no reason other than they're just possessed by demonic energy, by demonic entities. That's why they're doing that stuff, and they think they're doing the right thing by harassing and destroying people's lives and stuff because they have like a negative mindset about everything. They see you trying to build something, they think is a threat to them because their brain just never developed right. That's why the scripture says, "Suffer not the rich to live," because you can't have their genealogy is gonna mess everything up. If they continue to produce, they're gonna continue perpetuating the demonic spirit onto the rest of the people, and then it could end up that they multiply, and then everybody's gonna be like them. Everybody's gonna be crazy. That's why the scripture says, "Suffer not the rich to live."
Back to the book, let the precepts speak. Oh Lord, thunder when the warning gets deep. Suffer not a witch from the ancient line. Not a call to rage, but a line in time. Pray first, move smart, get out.
That's basically the video.
Wise counsel with the faithful are born when shadows try to isolate and scheme. Guard your spirit.